Hello, my name is Jerome, and welcome to my RC Construction Equipment YouTube page. Today, I'm going to do an oil change of the hydraulic fluid on this SK500 Lisu excavator. And this oil change, I'm going to show you a couple of procedures that I discovered that will get much more oil out of the excavator. So the first thing I want to do is on the front of the excavator right here, I have an extra line going to one of the servos for the valves. And I'm going to plug this in, which is this one here going to the receiver. And I put this orange cable tie on it for me to know which one to pick. And I put it in channel 1, which I believe controls the left track. So I will unplug this channel 1 and plug in this other control valve. All right. Now that that's done, I'll go up here to the front. And here I have a quick connect with a plug in it. So I remove the plug, which is this plug here. And I have a hose that I'm going to plug into here. This is what I'll use to drain out the majority of the fluid. All right. Now that I have that set up, I bought me some beakers with markings in milliliters and ounces so that I can tell exactly how much fluid I drain out of the excavator, so I'll know how much fluid to put back in. So let me turn on the excavator. Turn on the hydraulic pump. And I'll activate this valve. And you can see the fluid coming out. And all right, now I got air coming out. That's about all of the fluid I have coming out by that means. So I will remove this. And this is the fluid. It's pretty dirty. I may have changed this fluid 3 to 4 weeks ago. But I play with this excavator so much that it doesn't shock me that it's this color. Let me see if I can get a view down into the beaker. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Especially if you consider this is what it looked like when it went into the excavator. So drained out of here is exactly 2 ounces. So I'm going to write that down. 2 ounces. from connector. And now we will go to how to get the rest of the fluid out of here. Okay, so I plugged the receiver wire in for track 1 and removed the extra one where I drained the hydraulic fluid out of. Now the next step is to, on the transmitter, this is the button that's pushed in order for it to automatically turn the pump on whenever I move the gimbals. Make sure that button is out and turned off, and this knob here increases the speed of the hydraulic pump. Make sure that this is turned off also. Once that's the case, I'll turn on the excavator. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use my gimbal for the bucket, for the arms, and for the stick. And I'm just going to open the valves without the pump going. And with the valve open, I'm going to first move the bucket. Here we go. So what I did here, I'm opened the valve and I have this cylinder all the way compressed. So it's all the way pushed up, so there is no more fluid up in here. I'll move the bucket to the other extreme. And now the bucket is maximized with the piston all the way out, which the disc in here is moved all the way down. So there's no more fluid down here, and there's no fluid up here. So this cylinder is completely empty. And now I'll do the same thing with the stick. I'm compressing the cylinder all the way. And so now you can see no room there. All of the fluid is pushed out down here. I'll go in the opposite direction. And now it's fully extended. So the disc inside of here that moves back and forward, which is pushed by the hydraulic fluid, is all the way here. So there's no more fluid inside of there. And this thing, now that there's only air inside of it, they just freely move. So now I have to get the fluid out of the arm, the big arm pistons. And all of this fluid is going back into this hydraulic tank. Pushing the big arm all the way down. That's maximum down. Going up with this is always the hardest. but it's not very hard. It's just harder than the other ones due to the weight of the arm. And this is the maximum up. Important at this point, you don't want to just let this go, because with no fluid in it, it may just drop, which it is. So I'm going to put it over here and let it rest on the table. Now for an interesting part. First thing I want to do is open this filler cap, and I have a small syringe. I'm going to stick it down in here. This tank has baffles in it, so I can't stick a syringe all the way to the bottom, which would be nice if I could, because it would be easier to get some fluid out. But all of the fluid that I'm getting out now is fluid that would not have come out of that side connector that I pumped out with the pump, because there's so much air in the system, it would not come out that way. So this is more hydraulic fluid that I'll put into the beaker. Helps me know how much to put back in. And right now I'm just squeezing it into this beaker. And I'll try it one more time. The more that I can get out right here, the less there is to spill inside the excavator when I do the next procedure. Okay, I'm starting to get bubbles, so I've maxed this one out. And again, I'm just squeezing it into this beaker. So from the front stick, I got 2 ounces out originally. And this method here brings that value up to 2.5 ounces. So the third procedure that I'm going to do, this tube right here is connected to this oil tank, and this tends to show the level of the fluid in this tank, but there's a delay, so there's not this much fluid in here, which is where the level's at. It just hasn't had a chance to drain out yet. So what I'm going to do is put this cap back on to try to prevent a lot of air from going in here. You turn this off. While doing this, easier for you to hear, I'm going to open this bottom screw. Signal lost. And once I pull this out of the way, there's a hole here. And I quickly start pulling the fluid out this hole. And I've got this much out. Additional, squeezing it into the beaker. And I'm trying to push this needle in down at an angle to the back corner. so I can get it as low as possible in this oil tank. And again, I start sucking out the oil. This is the only way I know how to get the fluid out of this excavator. There is no drain hole at the bottom like my other excavator, the Cavalites. Another almost full area, and this is dripping out. I'll put my finger over it while I empty the syringe. Cover the hole with my finger so it won't drain into my excavator. If someone has an easier method of doing this, feel free to share it. Share it with me and I'll share it with everybody on my channel. So we started at 2 ounces originally. Now it's up to 3 ounces. So I got 50% more oil out of here just by doing this. I discovered this the last time I changed my oil, but unfortunately I did not have the cameras rolling at that time. But since I am waiting for a piece for my track motor, I figure I might as well do something with the excavator. Okay, this is the third syringe I've gotten out of here. Again, I'm covering the hole with my finger. While I drain it into the beaker. Using a small syringe, it moves slow, which makes it hard to push. I think I might be near the end here. Yeah, I'm starting to get air bubbles. I got this much this time. And I don't see anything flowing out of here, so it's definitely below that level at the bottom of the tank. Give it one more shot. Yeah, I'm getting nothing but air. So we got a total of 3.5 ounces of oil out of here. 2 ounces with the first method and 1.5 ounces by compressing this and extending the cylinders to maximum and using this syringe on the tank. So now I will reinstall this fluid level gauge and begin to put fluid back in. So now that I know I need 3.5 ounces of hydraulic fluid to go back in the machine, it's time to refill it. So now this is the syringe that I use to put oil in my machine. And this is actually a turkey baster. I bought it off Amazon, stainless steel. and it makes things go much quicker because this needle is much thicker than when I was using this little needle. So I will load this up. What's this? This holds a total of 2 ounces to the top. So right at 2 ounces. I will turn my pump on using this knob and start putting the oil in slowly. And I'm doing that by just squeezing the syringe. If you can see at the top. Alright, that's 2 ounces. And I will start exercising the hydraulics. Just to allow some of it to flow through the system. You got the big arm moving with just those 2 ounces. So at this point, what I would do is move them back and forth to get fluid into the cylinders. Maybe do this 5 times. That way I don't overflow the reservoir, because normally the cylinders are holding fluid. Alright, it's kind of struggling, so I'm going to put the other 1.5 ounces of fluid in here. Alright, the level's getting too low for my needle to reach, so I will break this out, fill it up. By the way, this container was used for my laundry soap. It has a built-in pourer. I find this much easier than the gallon container I have, because it just spills a lot. The beaker that I used to measure the amount of oil that came out of here, I just got that from Amazon 2 days ago. I figured it's easier for me to know exactly how much to put in than to guess, because I seem to always guess wrong. So I'll turn my pump back on. And start. The reason this is working much better is because I pushed that button that makes the pump automatically ramp up as the power is needed. Before, I just had the knob turned and I had it turned pretty low speed. Alright, so that's 3.5 ounces of hydraulic fluid. I returned the same amount that I took out. And as I put the cap back on here, now the thing to do is to exercise these hydraulics at least 10 times to get the air out of the system. And I like to take them to maximum to make sure all the air is removed. And that's how you do an oil change on the SK 500 Lisu excavator. Or actually any excavator that you may have. If you don't have a drain plug, that's an easy way to get excess oil out of your system. By me encountering the baffles that they have built inside of this excavator, I didn't even know that was a thing, but it is a thing. If you have a tank that does not have the baffles in it, then you can just stick a syringe in here and extract all of the oil the easy way here. Having that connector on the front stick in order to just squirt the extra fluid out, that's very convenient. And this is my recycle jar for all of my hydraulic fluid, and when it fills up, I mix it in with the oil that I recycle from when I change the oil in my car. So enough of that. That's my tip for today. Hope it was helpful. Hope it showed you how to get extra fluid out of your machine. I believe with the amount that I play with this when it's operational, I should probably change my oil every 2 weeks, because I get an hour to an hour and a half a day running this machine. So that's quite a bit. So I'm going to start keeping a schedule of when I change the oil so that I can make a correlation between time running hours and how dirty the oil is. So that's my tip for today. Hope you like what you saw. If you like it, click like, and I'll bring you some more maintenance tips and digging tips in the future. Later.